This video is brought to you by Synology. Super grateful for this opportunity because it allowed me the time to figure out a remote video editing solution that I think will help you as well. So if at any point you're like, wow, this seems really cool, well, you can check out my link in the description below. Synology has so many amazing NAS solutions, no matter what type of creator you are. So enjoy the video. Hello all, my name is Sara, Dietschy runs Dietschy, and today's video, well, has been months in the making. So I really hope you learned something from it, whether you're looking to buy a NAS, or you already have a NAS, or you are just looking for some tips and some ideas with working with remote video editors or a remote creative team of honestly any kind. I think this is going to help you. So it's going to be very like information dense, no fancy B-roll. Hey, I said no fancy B-roll. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's get into the problem. Holy smokes, G Drive. I have been using it more than ever. When it comes to working with a remote editor, honestly, it's been a big pain point that I really haven't figured out. And to be honest with you, I haven't successfully hired a video editor for this YouTube channel in my entire career as a YouTuber. I am super controlling when it comes to the edit because that's my thing, video editing. Hey, if my YouTube channel got wiped off the face of the earth tomorrow, well, I would just go back to, yeah, producing videos and editing videos, telling a story. I really enjoy it. But there comes a time where, hey, I want to do more things. I want to make more videos. And so you need to get help. And this has been my biggest pain point is finding an editor and finding a workflow. And specifically, if you can hire remote editors, you have a bigger pool of talent to choose from. This scenario, I'm going to be saying, my name's Sara and the name of Kyle a lot because Kyle is the editor who I'm working with right now. Probably have had the best of luck with him. And I think half of it is because, hey, we're figuring out a workflow that doesn't have to do with these cloud providers that I've had issues with. So here's my Google Drive problem, and maybe you can relate to this. So I'm gonna pull up G Drive. Okay, so do you see this right here? 2 terabytes of 2 terabytes used, 99% full. When it comes to editing videos, my projects are on the small side from 30 gigs to on the bigger side, 100 and 150 gigs. I mean, I just had one project that was 250 gigs. So I need a lot of storage. And because Google Drive, a lot of the friction is with downloading, I literally leave my projects up on Google Drive, and then I just start going to my other Google accounts and adding 2 terabytes for $9.99 because I don't want to take the actual jump and buy the 10 terabytes because that's $49 a month, which is just so expensive. Okay, so this is my second Gmail, as you can see, 1.8 terabytes of 2 terabytes used, all of the things. And then my third Gmail. Okay, so this one I'm filling up right now, 1.2 terabytes of 2 terabytes used. So that is $30 a month. And so the price just keeps going up, and it's just super unorganized because my video projects end up living on Google Drive. Half the project will be here, half will be strung out on different computers. Now you might say, Sara, this sounds like a personal problem. But when you start working with remote editors, you have to send footage back and forth. It is really hard to keep a project just really in sync, to make sure when I want to hop back into the edit that I have all of the songs, all of the assets that Kyle added to relink those in Premiere. When downloading a ton of files via Google Drive, it just zips all of the things. So by the time you download 50 gigs of video footage, you have 7 zip folders that you have to double click on and get organized again. And a lot of the times it renames the actual files. So say we have clip 7. Well, it renames it to clip 7-001. So you have to go in there and rename them, make sure it matches up with the Google Drive folder. So when Sara over here downloads Kyle's Premiere file and the music that he uses, and I try to reconnect everything, it doesn't mess up with the reconnecting in Premiere. I'm like getting all hot and nervous just honestly thinking about it. So as you can see, as you add more terabytes, and just the uploading and downloading of a ton of video footage is just a really honestly clunky experience. And you're kind of burdened by the fact that it's up to Google to keep this running, or you just won't have access to all of your things. Okay, so enter my Synology NAS. This is actually their super cute and cool version that is really portable and small. The actual Synology NAS that I use is in my other room next to my router, and then there's a switcher. I actually use SHR, the Synology Hybrid RAID system, which gives you redundancy. Basically, if one drive fails, the remaining drives can build back your data. So, you know, you kind of have peace of mind with that you're not not going to lose your data if a drive fails. And you know, that does make a little bit of noise. So the fact that it's in another room and this room is where I film, it's just another kind of like benefit of using Ethernet and using a network attached storage where it's just attached to your network. Okay, so enough talking about that. Let's talk about the actual solution that replaced G Drive for my remote editor workflow. This folder here, active projects _ Sara Dietschy. This is a two-way sync folder that is using a Synology app, Synology Drive. And if you're not familiar how a Synology NAS works, you basically have the NAS. It has hard drives in there. You can set them up as RAID, where I have a ton of 14 terabyte Seagate drives in there. As you can see here, I have 48 terabytes of storage to work with, which is just awesome. I'm like halfway through that almost, which is kind of crazy. Sara, slow down. That NAS is connected to your network via an Ethernet port, and then whatever laptops, computers in your home are connected to your network, any of those computers can access that 48 terabytes of storage. And even if you're away and you're not on the local network, you can use a thing called Quick Connect, which is a Synology service where you can access your NAS from wherever you are in the world as long as you have a Wi-Fi connection. So it's super powerful. And basically what you can see right now is I'm just on a web page and accessing DSM, which is their disk station manager, DSM, and this is where you access all of the permissions. File station is where you can see just everything on your NAS, and if this looks familiar, it's basically Synology's own like operating system. And then you can go up here, and this is like all of the apps that I've installed, and this helps you also interact with your NAS. Okay, that was a quick overview of the Synology NAS, but now that you have that, let's get back to what I was saying. This uses a Synology app called Synology Drive Client, as you can see here. You basically set up a two-way sync connection between my computer in the NAS and also between Kyle's computer in the NAS. So this is a team folder. We go into active projects, and as you can see, it's everything that is here. So I initially set up the shared folder here on my computer, just using the Synology Drive Client. And if we go in here, go into the sync rules, you will see in the sync mode I have two-way sync checked off. This means that if I'm in here and I'm editing this live stream vlog, you know, I'm editing, and say, oh, I just want to add, let's see, these awesome 2 songs that I just downloaded. I'm gonna drop them into the live stream vlog folder. We can go down here and look. Okay, the files were too small. It transferred over too quickly, but you can see recently changed, it uploaded those 2 songs to my NAS. So those 2 songs are not only here on my local disk, the SSD, but they are also synced to the NAS via the local area network, which is, you know, quicker than my upload speed of 35 megabytes per second, which is terrible. And they are uploaded here. You have the 2 little check marks, so they're uploaded, and they're also on the SSD. So I actually recopied this live stream vlog over to the active projects folder so you can see how quickly it syncs to the NAS. You can see it's going about at an average of 100 megabytes per second. And once your file has a green check mark by it, that means it is on the NAS. Okay, so this is the key part of everything. If you're a video editor, you know, you need to actually edit off of a drive that is the fastest possible. When you're dealing with like 4K A7S3 footage, you need a speed of an SSD to help you out. So that is going to be my internal SSD in my Puget PC, which is the local disk D right here. As you can see, this two-way sync folder using Synology Drive Client is located on that SSD. So when I go in here and I find, this is such an unorganized project, sorry guys. When I find this Premiere file that Kyle has been working on and syncing to the NAS, but also editing on his computer, this Premiere file is going to open up as if it's on just my SSD, and that's the magic of this. And see, it's super speedy because it's playing off of my SSD, not, you know, from the cloud at 100 megabytes per second. You're editing with the speed of the SSD while it's at the same time two-way syncing to your NAS. And why is this important? This is so huge because there's no middle ground of me uploading footage, Kyle downloading that, editing it locally via Premiere, and then keeping track of all of the music and footage and assets that he added, making sure to upload all of those back to Google Drive, and then me going through, okay, what was the new things that Kyle added, me downloading that along with the Premiere project that he started, and then reconnecting all of the footage back on my computer. No, There's no more of that. Now, we just use the same exact folder here in this two-way sync Synology Drive folder, open up Premiere, do our editing, add the assets, close it, and then the next person can start where the other person finished off. Now this is so huge for me because I like more of a collaborative process. Very rarely can I just hand off a video to an editor and they finish it from start to finish. Sometimes that happens and I love when that happens, but it's so nice for me to really just go into this active projects folder, double click on a Premiere file, open up the video where they did, you know, that principal edit, and I can go in there and cut the parts that I don't think are important, and then they can pick it back up and add the music and add any other flair needed for the video. Now, you might be like, okay, well, Sarah, your NAS is located here, but how is Kyle accessing the footage? Well, all he has to do is just download the Synology Drive client to his computer. He doesn't even have a NAS. He just has an internet connection. He logs into the editor profile that I specifically made for him in DSM. He sees that there's a shared folder called active projects _ Sara Dietschy, and that's what I want to share with him. Checks it off, and then make sure that enable on-demand sync to save disk space is actually unchecked, and that means that the moment I transfer my footage over to another active projects folder, that means that it's going to start downloading onto Kyle's computer instantly. And when he goes to edit the next video, everything is there. You don't have to rename files. You don't have to go through the crazy zipping of G Drive. And why this is so clutch for our workflow is, like I said, he's located in the UK. So I can be here filming my videos until 10 p.m. at night, transfer over everything into a folder on my NAS, and it instantly starts downloading onto Kyle's computer while he's asleep. So when he wakes up, he has a brand new video to start working on without having to worry about all of that just middle internet cloud storage nonsense. Isn't this so cool? Like this is so cool. So you basically have one shared folder that is both doing a two-way sync between my computer and also Kyle's computer. Okay, so as you can see, these are all of the active projects we have going in, and whenever I have, you know, new footage to add, I just plop it in this folder, it automatically syncs with Kyle's computer, and we're off to the races. Premiere, it just works really nicely with this. You don't have to do anything special. Resolve actually has a lot of cool extra software that it has when it comes to remote editing workflows, and that requires setting up an SQL database, and you can set that up on a Synology NAS, which is really cool, but it's a little too complicated for me at the moment, as I'm trying to also get a lot of YouTube videos done. I don't have time to really learn Resolve well and also worry about that right now, but it actually works in the same way as Premiere. If you just go in Resolve and press export project, and that gives you an individual Resolve project file just like Premiere, and the other person on the other end of your NAS can then open up that, and everything, the footage, the music, will reconnect without having to finagle things. So I wouldn't really recommend putting your entire database on the NAS, because Resolve uses the weird database thing, which I still don't like. But that's a way to do this with Resolve that's very similar to Premiere. So, I've been talking for so long. So a few more things that I want to hit. Smash that like button if this has been helpful, or it gets your juices flowing in a way that you can improve your workflow. Okay, so a few specifics when it comes to using shared folders. There are so many security options, which is great, but you have to make sure that certain users have certain permissions to access those folders that you create. So there are group permissions, and then there's individual user permissions. So for me, complete admin permissions, so I can access everything. But my editor profile that I've made, well, I don't need him to access my entire NAS, so I just give him the permissions to access the Synology Drive folder, the active projects folder. And just an added benefit of having your own server and having everything attached to the internet is say, hey, I took some fun Mother's Day photos this weekend, and of course they are saved in my pictures folder, which is on my NAS, that I can access via an app via my phone, or I can just share the link and people can instantly go to that folder, view the images, or download them, and I don't have to actually upload them to a separate Google Drive or Dropbox. That's just like cherry on the top, added benefit. When the storage that you're using is already attached to the internet, it's just really convenient when it comes to sharing files, and you can edit the permissions and have a lot of control with that as well. So at the center of all of this is just my one big Synology NAS, but there's just so much I can do with it, and honestly, Synology DSM is kind of taking over my life in a good way. There's so many different apps you can use, like hyper backup to back up your entire NAS to another NAS. That's what I'm gonna do with another Synology NAS at my parents' house. So hey, if this building burns down, we're all good. We have my memories from the past 10 years of my life. Now DSM is about to get a major facelift. It's basically the equivalent of doing like a complete overhaul to an entire operating system. And it looks really nice, it looks really clean, but with that you have these new updated apps, which I'm so excited about. And they're in DSM right now, but there's just gonna be some really cool updates coming soon. So just wanna flag that. One app is their Photos app, which is kind of like the equivalent of Google Photos. So again, I'm getting out of the subscription model. I don't wanna be paying like $10 a month here, $30 a month here, just adding and adding and adding, because I've used Google Photos in the past, but it's no longer free. And with every terabyte, you're just gonna be paying more and more. And it's kind of like anxiety inducing to know that that's only going to increase. I'm only gonna be paying more because every year I take, I swear, like over 10,000 photos on my phone. And so I want those backed up somewhere, but I want them accessible to where I can scroll through the tens of thousands of photos whenever I want, wherever I am. So I'm moving that to my NAS. So not only can I trust that, oh, it's gonna have good security that I can control, but it's a set price. It's my NAS, and then I can expand the storage if I need, but I don't have to worry about those monthly fees. So the Photos app is clutch. It has taken working from home to the next level because now I can partition, you know, say 10 terabytes of my NAS. So John, he can just plug his iMac into Ethernet. Yeah, I gave John my iMac. It's like he's working on a desktop computer for the first time in his life, and it's like his life has changed, but he uses a ton of separate hard drives. He has like 20 hard drives he goes in between. And now he can access just a crazy amount of terabytes just over the network. And so we can be on the same solution, and I can be backing up all of his stuff at the same time. If we need to share pictures or video, it's just on that same NAS. Ooh, it is so great. You know, that's when relationships are getting real. Yes, of course, we are planned to get married, but now we're sharing a NAS. That is the ultimate step. Okay, we've been talking for a minute here, and this stuff I could honestly talk about forever. Finding creative solutions to creative problems is kind of like a hobby at this point. I'm glad it's also my job. So let me know if you liked this video. Hit that subscribe button down below for new videos every single week. And if you wanna check out my specific NAS that I use, this SSD version, they have so many different solutions depending on where you are in your creative journey. You can check out the Synology link in the description below. And again, I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, stay peachy. Okay, bye.